Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prophet podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprophet.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Prophet podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey. And I thought might as well start looking at 2019, Jeff, even though it's Super Bowls this weekend. So we're going to do a mock draft. I know it seems, maybe seems a little early, would you say? But I'm just kind of curious how this is going to play out and what drafts are looking like. All right, this is the best way to figure out, where players are going in rounds, where they should, what kind of values are out there. And I'm kind of excited for this, actually. First mock draft. We have no strategies. Just pick your best team. You got what? Third pick? I'm picking ninth. So, this will be good. I think this will be fun here.
Yeah, it'll be a good immediate reaction to what has happened in the past year and see if that has changed anything in our minds.
Yeah, so really, obviously, rookies aren't going to be involved yet. So, there's going to be some out there in the draft if you really went and tried to find one. I'm sure they're in the system. We're using Fantasy Football Calculator, but I'm going to avoid them because it's not even as much like last year where we had a better idea of the players and the situations. There's just no clue. There's not really any running backs that are going to be drafted terribly high. So, not going to bother myself with too many of the rookies. So here we go. Draft's about to start. We're the only two in this one. Yeah, not many people actually doing mock drafts yet, I guess. Just us and a bunch of computers. So it started off, Todd Gurley and Zeke went 1-2. And I think that's going to be a lot of drafts next year. It's going to be Gurley, Zeke, and then probably
gotta go Saquon
here. Yeah, and I think Saquon is the next best pick at that point. And then Alvin Kamara went, Christian McCaffrey went. I like that top five. That's kind of how I see it too right now.
I do too. And I think even number 6, Melvin Gordon, I like that pick as well. Those top 6 are really, really solid. And I think that is about the order that I would put them in. I think Barkley, Zeke, Gurley, you can mix up if you want, especially that 2-3. I think Zeke or Saquon, both incredibly productive. And I think Saquon has even more room to grow if that New York team, does a little better. And you could say the same thing for Zeke. So I really like the way that goes. And then 7 and 8, they pick the first 2 wide receivers, and that's Antonio Brown and Devontae Adams. Are you surprised that Adams went over Hopkins?
A little bit. I thought, I kind of am actually. I thought he would be up there, but not ahead of Hopkins. So I picked 9. And I let Le'Veon Bell. I don't know where he's going to be yet, but I don't think it's going to matter to me. If I get Le'Veon Bell at number 9, I feel good about that. I don't know about you. I think that's
you're getting Le'Veon Bell at the end of the first round pretty much, and it is a 12-team league. But right after that, it went DeAndre Hopkins, and then Julio Jones, Odell Beckham, and then Nick Chubb at the turn of the from first to second round at the 13th pick. He is going to be one of those benefactors of getting a lot more playing time, and he is going to shoot up draft boards just like this. Then we have Michael Thomas, which is a very safe pick, and then James Conner. So the 2 new faces already are coming in the first part of the second round, and we will continue that with Craig doubling down on running back and went David Johnson.
See, a lot of people are down on David Johnson, but I'm starting to like the value. I think there's going to be a bounce back, new coach. Just a quarterback in his second year, I think it's going to be better for him. I think they're going to go out of their way to get him the ball. I feel really confident in David Johnson, so I can get him in the second. So I think I got value. Bell and Johnson. Some people are not going to like it. They think, they're down on those guys. But to get what would have been 1 and 2 like a year ago, I'm happy with that. So after I picked Johnson and went Fournette, Juju Smith-Schuster, Keenan Allen, Mike Evans,
there is actually
Adam Thielen.
Yeah, there is a lot of people that I could go with. Right now, I'm going to ride the hype train. I'm actually going Tyreek Hill here. See, I think that is a good place to get him.
Yeah, see, I like Tyreek Hill.
And
I haven't been a Darius Geis. Wow.
Yeah, I was going to say Darius Geis. And on the turnaround, this is actually what I was hoping for. So the guy I was thinking about taking in the second round, I'm actually jumping over Mixon. I'm taking Delvin Cook.
See, Cook's there too. Now I was hoping Mixon would get back and I'd get a third running back. He probably won't last.
Oh, okay. So, I was like, no way, will he?
No, he came close. Only missed me by 2 picks.
All right,
so
and I was going to say, and Craig is on the clock right now, so as he picks, I will catch you up. So I took Delvin Cook, then Stephon Diggs. Russell Wilson is the first QB off the board, which in my mind is pretty crazy. I think Pat Mahomes has to be. I mean, even if you say he's going to have a regression, he's still in that number one spot probably. Then Joe Mixon, Allen Robinson from Chicago. Pat Mahomes does go in the second round. So two QBs in the third, and now Craig is up with 15 seconds left.
This is what I'm going to do here. Towards the end of the third, I'm going to switch it up because there's a lot of players that I like.
Are you going tight end?
Yes, I am.
And you go Travis Kelce. I really like that pick.
Because there's the players that are out there, I like a lot of them equally. I'm not,
Yeah, and I think Travis Kelce is number one with a bullet as far as tight end goes. And I think after that, I personally would wait a bit. But Craig has actually started an avalanche. So right after him, Philip Lindsay went, who was another quick riser from last year. But then 2 tight ends in a row, George Kittle and Zach Ertz. And those 3 are already off the board in the late third round. And those are definitely the top 3 in a tier in my mind. The only other one that we're going to be watching for now would be, say, Hunter Henry, I think is up there, along with, you could make the argument for like an Ebron or someone of that nature.
So I just went and picked Amari Cooper, which this is, if you wait like I did for wide receiver until the 4th, this is kind of what you're going to get. But I'm okay with it because I think they're going to get him the ball a lot like they started to, at the end of the season. So I'll take a chance on him in the 4th, especially when there's other guys down there that I could get later on maybe, but I'm not in love with any of these players right here. So I'm going to go Cooper. And then after Cooper, it went James White, Aaron Jones, Will Fuller, Sony Michel, Devontae Freeman, Jeff's up.
Yeah, and this one might be a little bit of a reach, but I don't love anyone here, and I think I'm going upside compared to what people have done. So I go Kenny Galladay.
I was hoping Galladay would last one more time around to me, and he didn't. He would have been my next pick, so that's a good one. It was between Cooper and Galladay for me, and I was hoping Galladay would sneak back, but Galladay going in the 4th now. He's going up there in value. So after Galladay, it went Mack, Rob Gronkowski, which I'm not so sure about that. He might not even be in the league. We don't know that yet. And even if he is, I'm not going to. I think that's too much for reach.
And
Derrick Henry, Jarvis Landry.
And this is one of those weird ones where you don't know exactly what's going to transpire, but I'm just going to assume that he's the starter in KC and he's farther down. So I'm going to take Damian Williams as my 3rd running back. I think
if he is, it's going to be great.
Right, and I think that one's a little bit of a misnomer because obviously we're playing against computers, and right now he's still pretty low on the rankings. So I think I got a steal that probably obviously won't be there.
Yeah, I was going to look at a wide receiver here to get my 2nd. Man, I am not in love with this grouping when it gets to about here in wide receivers. A lot of decent ones, but there's not a lot of guys I love as my 2nd receiver.
No, and even, the run that went in between me and Craig was Phillip Rivers, we have Doug Baldwin, Mark Ingram, Chris Carson, and Lamar Miller. So even the running backs that you can get right here, I wasn't in love with either. So you start looking for people you actually like, and they don't really have to rank right here because I think, the 5th, 6th, 7th round, this is where you can dip a little bit, don't go exactly by the rankings, and get people that you think is their value is not showing in the rankings. And I think that is what Craig is about to do after he took Kerryon Johnson. It comes back around to him, which I like Kerryon a lot. He got hurt, but he showed a lot, and I think that Detroit offense should be better next year. And now he is about to pick.
Yeah, see, I didn't love anybody there. I did not at all, and I just...
Right, so did you, I assume you're going upside, right? So that would be your thing with Kerryon. And
yeah.
Is this next pick going to be upside as well? You have 5 seconds
to go. I'm going to buy it one more
year. Tell the people about it.
Corey Davis. This is it. Is he Devontae Parker or not? That's what I'm going to find out. And at this point in the draft, the wide receivers that went after this were Tyler Boyd, Dak Prescott went, which is way, way too early. Cooper Kupp went, Evan Ingram went, and then Tyler Lockett, another receiver. I like Davis better than I like Boyd, Kupp, or Lockett. Especially Kupp coming off an injury. And I just don't buy the Tyler Lockett thing yet. So I'm going to go Corey Davis and hope. There's other upside plays at wide receiver I do like. But I'm hoping at least one of them comes back to me and I can pick them up next. So that's kind of why I went Davis. I'll probably have to go more upside here and see what happens.
Yeah, and I'm going to, oh Jesus, am I going to run out of time? Yep. And I'm going to take Lamar Jackson because I ran out of time.
Hey, there you go. Let's see how that one works. After you pick Jackson, went Wentz, Jeffrey. I don't think you're really going to miss out because none of those four players really. Maybe you would have picked Alshon, maybe probably not.
And tell you the truth, once again, I'm not really in love with anyone here. And obviously the rankings are a little screwy. So you're really trying to like kind of sift your way through everyone here really quickly. But yeah, I just don't love anyone. And I think this is a little bit of a, not a great place to be, but I did find a guy that I think I'm going upside with. That 7th rounder is Mike Williams as wide receiver.
And he was,
very
one of
good
them
down
I was
the stretch.
waiting to see if he would come back to me. I probably would have picked him if he came back to me. That's twice you've done that to me.
Yeah, well, I screwed up with Lamar Jackson when I'm sure that there's many other quarterbacks I'd rather have.
After Mike Williams, it went Tevin Coleman, Marvin Jones, Drew Brees, Jalen Richard, Julian Edelman. I come back up on the clock. I'll go a upside play wide receiver. I'll pick Calvin Ridley. And he would have been my second choice after Mike Williams, so I'll go Ridley there.
See, you know what I like about that, too? The 7th round, and in a 12-team league, too, Calvin Ridley goes at the end of it. And the 7th, when he started off that hot, you thought that maybe his stock would get out of control. But according to this, it is exactly where it should be. And I actually like that because I think that is actually value for the 7th round.
Yeah, I think it is, actually. It's not too crazy. Man, I don't like the running backs here. Looking at those, I like the running backs early on. At this point, I'm not a big fan of them. There are some rookies in there. You can see David Montgomery, Damian Harris. Who knows where they'll end up being, so it's tough. So I probably just go another wide receiver. I go another upside play. I go DJ Moore. And get my 4th receiver and hope I get, I think that's where I'm going wide receiver-wise. It's just upside plays again if I'm not picking them early. So I went DJ Moore, then Jimmy Graham went, Isaiah Crowell, David Njoku, Jamal Williams, Austin Eckler. I'm sure you would have picked none of those guys.
No, I mean, once again, there's not a whole lot I love, to tell you the truth. So what I'm going to do, and one more running back. I'm going to put my faith in Jay Ajayi one more year, just hoping that he's going to be the number 1 back in Philly. We'll find out what happens.
Never know. Yeah, we don't know the situation right now. So,
okay, and so I'm at the 9th spot, and I really want to get one of the 2 tight ends I've been waiting for. So this is the question here, and I truly don't know which way I'll lean because I haven't seen Hunter Henry play, but it'll be Hunter Henry or my man from this year who got hurt as well, O.J. Howard. And the question is, who should I take out of those 2? Who would you take?
Tough. I'd probably go O.J. Howard. I liked what I saw from him last year. And as much as I like Hunter Henry, I haven't really seen anything from him yet too much. Yeah. He had some I just like OJ.
I don't think you can go wrong either way, but because you said OJ, I'll go Hunter Henry.
Okay, there we go. I'm fine with either one of those guys.
Yeah, I wanted one of them, so the fact that I got it was great, especially in the 9th.
And then OJ went a couple picks later. So,
yep, there we go.
Delaney Walker went, Deion Lewis, Duke Johnson, OJ Howard, Sammy Watkins. I'm back up. I have 3 running backs. I have 4 receivers. I have 1 tight end. I don't really need to go quarterback yet. There's plenty out there. Running back wise, I could get a 4th, but who would I go with? Could go for the rookie David Montgomery, except it's just throwing him out there right now. I don't have any clue where he's going to be. Don't know if he'll be in a good situation, but when it's like this in the draft, I don't know if I love anybody else. So you know what? I will go if I can make my pick. I like David Montgomery as the top rookie running back, so I'm going to pick him.
There we go.
And I think once the draft comes around, these rookies aren't going to go 9th round. They always go higher.
No, yeah, absolutely.
They always will.
There'll definitely be a couple of wide receivers and 1 or 2 running backs for sure this year.
Yep, after I picked Montgomery, Goff went, Burkhead, Alex Collins, Adam Humphries, Baker Mayfield, Damian Harris, the other rookie running back, went. I was probably actually going to pick Baker Mayfield. It
would have been a great one to wait for.
And because he went there, and now I'm just really going to wait. And, there's some guys there. There's Matt Ryan, Stafford. I'm not picking Stafford. There's Cousins, Brady.
Right.
Let's see, though. I don't even know who to pick. I'm gonna lose this pick.
And let's see who they give you. Oh, Christian Kirk.
I did make it.
Oh, you did. I was going to say I actually like him. He was
I
on
think
my
as my
list.
fifth receiver, saying a second year quarterback. I think he's going to improve. So I think the offense as a whole is going to be better. So Gio went, John Brown, Kenny Stills, Robbie Anderson, Marquise Goodwin. You're up.
Since you picked him, I'm going to take another second-year guy that I really like. It's Cortland Sutton. He'll be the number one wide receiver there. Well, either that or Emmanuel Sanders. But either way, I like him to really have a breakout year. And
I think that's very solid. There's actually the wide receivers. I don't love a lot of these guys here, but there's some interesting plays. Like Golden Tate's still out there. I think that's going to be good value if he sticks in Philly.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I truly think there's actually a few down here that is pretty decent value. And another guy I'm going to kind of take a chance on. Once again, I'm not in love with the quarterback situation, but Sterling Shepard did show quite a bit. And I think in the 11th round that it's kind of a steal. So I take Sterling Shepard.
So after you picked Shepard, it went Matt Ryan, Zay Jones, Matt Stafford, Nelson Aguilar, Quincy Enunwa. You know what? I'll just pick Tom Brady.
There we go.
Quarterback. I'll take Tom Brady in the 11th, sure. I just have such a bad taste in my mouth from Kirk Cousins. God, that guy killed me. I can't pick him. Can't do it. No way. So I'll pick Brady. So after I picked Brady, went Nelson, Demaryius Thomas, Doug Martin, Deebo Samuel, Chris Hogan, Carlos Hyde. And now it's just picking guys that we like at this point. Just trying to pick some upside plays maybe if we can find somebody down there. Which... I don't really know if there's a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few. We didn't really have time to deep dive and really look at the list as much as we like. But
I will pick Golden Tate.
Oh, I think that's a really nice one. Okay, so now the run on QBs is about to happen. So we'll see who falls to me pretty much. And who knows who he's going to have left. But right now, Roethlisberger played really well. So I'm going to take him just to make sure I get one guy that I like.
Yeah, you don't like your other guy you picked 6 rounds ahead?
Yeah, whatever. Just to make sure.
It went Cousins, Winston, DK Metcalf, Jimmy Garoppolo, Antonio Callaway. You picked Ben. Then it went Ted Ginn, Frank Gore, Jared Cook, Derek Carr. Frank Gore's still out there. It's crazy. He's still around. Guy's never going to be done.
It is pretty crazy. I'm going to take another. I'm going to take a flyer on Rashad Penny.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen in Seattle? So, they spent a very high draft pick on him. If Chris Carson gets hurt again, if they, improve, they use him some more. He might be a diamond in the rough in the 13th.
And I'm going to take a flyer on Ronald Jones.
Yeah, why not? I mean, at this point,
let's see. Maybe there's something there. There probably isn't, but you never know yet. So we got 2 rounds left. So I guess at this point we pick our defenses and kickers, which people do not need to go early and pick defenses. I know Chicago is great, but remember what we all thought about Jacksonville a year ago?
Right,
and
exactly.
Just don't do it. Just
I don't mind if you do it in like
a round,
1 round early. Oh yeah, even 2 maybe, but like don't do it before then.
Yeah, so I just went Baltimore, but like Jacksonville's a perfect example this year of what not. Don't do it. Just don't do it. It's a terrible decision. We all thought they were just gonna be dominant, and they weren't even close. So there's no need to go reach for that. So, it's an interesting draft. This is obviously the first one. We haven't really even dug into much yet on this. So it's an interesting – I like the values in the first 2 rounds, but I'm not in love with some of the middle rounds and what to do with wide receiver. Not sure.
Yeah, and let's see here. And I'll go – Houston defense and the Kansas City kicker. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Actually, I don't mind it. I mean, Lamar Jackson, if I didn't pick him, Jay Ajayi in the 8th round, Mike Williams in the 7th, Hunter Henry in the 9th. I have no issue with that. I think early on, because of the depth of running back, those first 5 rounds are paramount, and I really do think that every single one of them you can hit on. I don't think there's really too much guesswork, to be honest, because and once again, I know it'll change, but we also know that rookies will come in there, right? So Saquon, Tyreek Hill, Delvin Cook, Kenny Galladay, Damian Williams for me. So I got 3 running backs and 2 wide receivers, and I fully trust all 5 of those guys.
Yeah, I went with the really trying to hit on something with Bell, which I think at 9, I like that. David Johnson in the second. This is a guy who was basically number 1, pretty much just 2 years ago. So Bell, Johnson, I'm really okay with those two. Travis Kelce, can't go wrong there, I don't think. Then the wide receivers is where it's interesting. Who knows? I have upside plays. Amari Cooper could be great, maybe. Corey Davis, see if he ever does anything, then Calvin Ridley, DJ Moore. So, yeah, it's if you get towards the end of the first round, one of those picks, like I did, you're going to be able to get 2 good running backs probably. But the problem is in the third, the wide receivers are going to probably be picked over by the time you get to them. That's where I ran into there because you were still able to, get Tyreek Hill in the second. You could have actually pulled off a Stephon Diggs in the third.
Then, I could have.
But yeah, it's like when you get towards the end of the third, if you pick in the back half of the first, the wide receivers might not be there for you. Because we had Allen Robinson going in the middle of the third, which I don't want that. I still don't. I don't know about you, but that doesn't interest me.
No, and I don't want to get stuck in this mindset where, James White performed really, really well this past year, but to take him in the 4th round, so he's your number 2 running back. That's pretty tough to swallow. So there's enough talent up there that you want to make sure you're kind of getting the best talent available for the first couple. That way you don't pigeonhole yourself. You're like, I already took, 2 wide receivers. I absolutely need to take a running back. And you end up in that situation. I went
running back like I normally do. I usually don't go against it, but you went running back wide receiver, which I think could be the way to go.
Yeah, and we had mentioned that before. The running back position really is a lot deeper. We went from probably 12 running backs we really liked to probably closer to 20 this year. And you can see, and that's why, stretching even into the 5th round, the end of the 5th round, which I'm not sure which side. The end was Jerick McKinnon, the very last pick of the 5th round. He was going to be a top 10 pick this year. At the beginning of it, listen, the running backs in the 5th round, these are actually very, very good compared to where we were last year. We have Derrick Henry, Damian Williams, Mark Ingram, Chris Carson, Lamar Miller, Kerryon Johnson, Spencer Ware, and Jerick McKinnon. So there was a lot that went in there, but every single one of those, besides for maybe Spencer Ware, depending on what happens with him and Damian Williams, but all those guys are steals in the 5th round because after that, obviously, you're going to fall off.
That's what I'm saying. Like those 4th round guys, like Sony Michel, Aaron Jones, I love those 2. And then Devontae Freeman, Marlon Mack. 3rd round, Joe Mixon. If you can get Joe Mixon, Dalvin Cook in the 3rd round, that's huge. So, man, I think you need to get one of those top receivers. I think the way to go is you get one of them in the 2nd at the very least. You could go get I would be okay with somebody getting one in the end of the 1st round if you had a wide receiver, or the middle, 7th pick, maybe like the Antonio Brown went. It's not the craziest thing in the world because you're going to still probably be able to get a top receiver. You could get a Leonard Fournette, Joe Mixon maybe as your running backs. It's not crazy.
No, and usually in a deeper year, I like to be near the end point, say 10, 11, 12 spots, so you get to turn around real quick and get 2 top guys. But in a weird way, it is so deep this year that I think that maybe you're not getting as the quality for 2, say. But I kind of liked where I was, where that number 3 spot, because I feel like it's so deep that if you play your cards right, you can actually get 3 studs right in a row compared to waiting all the way on that 3rd to get all the way back to you. And you can kind of see it. Like I like what you did, but once again, computer picks as well, so you take it with a grain of salt. But they started taking QBs and tight ends really early, and you end up with 2 stud wide receivers, or the last round guy, Odell Beckham, Nick Chubb, and Ertz and Robert Woods, which I'm not going to argue with that. They're good players, but compared to what the guys in the front got, where you're talking, Zeke, T.Y. Hilton, Brandon Cooks, Marlon Mack, Alvin Kamara, Thielen, Diggs, and Freeman, which I don't know if I would, double up on Diggs and Thielen, but you can see that you're still getting those really back-end top-quality running backs in that 4th round even.
Yep. Yeah, I think that could, I like that. Like your third pick, I think that's a way to go. That if you could pick where you're going to be, because I in my mind right now, those top 3 running backs are the top 3. It's like I want one of those 3. I'm okay with the next 3 or 4 with Bell, but I really want one of those 3 guys. I want Gurley, Zeke, or Saquon. I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think they have separated themselves. I totally agree with you.
Yeah, next tier this year is not far off. Tier 2 is not far off at all, but it's just it's tier 2, and I think it's 4 guys. I think it's Kamara, McCaffrey, Gordon, and Bell for me. So, but all right, I think that's going to do it for the mock draft. We'll be back next week. I don't know. We'll figure out something. Maybe start doing some undervalued players based on what we saw in the drafts and stuff like that. Figure it out. But that'll do it for this week. Talk to you guys then.